We tend to operate in an environment where we're seen as a kind of second-class citizen to finance, so we have tried to emulate finance and seen them as our ally. We have tried, I think, to operate around compliance, trying very hard to do what line managers and leaders have asked us to do, you know, the kind of strategic business partner. I think the challenge we face now is that we're in our third evolution. We're no longer the personnel officers that were trying to help employees. We're no longer the strategic business partners where we did it leaders bidding, but what we're trying to do is create the conditions where people can perform at their best. And that is a very different ask from the role that we've been playing. It means we have to work with different functions, different people in our organisation. We have to think differently, we need to develop new skills and capabilities, and we need to be a lot braver. And we're trying to do this very often in an environment where perhaps HR isn't seen as the most positive team with the highest reputation. So I think there's some really big challenges for us. We're trying to be brave where perhaps that's not really wanted from us. We're trying to be creative where people are wary of it, and we're trying to establish ourselves in a new way when perhaps we haven't had that credibility. Instead of trying to think about something which is a 3 to 5 year plan, which you cascade through the organisation, which has loads of action points, which is applied universally, I would look much more at being user-led. So using techniques like hackathons, using pilots with leaders and individuals in your organisation who are excited about this stuff, who are a bit curious. So I would go with being much more user-led. I would also look at thinking about products, not services, because I think if we take a product mindset, that frees us up from one-size-fits-all blanket approach to one which can be much more innovative, much more creative, much more forward-thinking. And also we can look at working in sprint-like fashion, so learning from agile product design. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can look at minimum viable product. We can look at planning in 3-month bursts rather than sort of a big 3 to 5 year plan that just exhausts everybody and confuses everybody. So I would definitely avoid anything which is headed up large-scale HR transformation, and instead look at going where the energy is, injecting some innovation, some pilots, trying some stuff out, being prepared to fail. Because if we're going to be innovative and creative, we're going to get things wrong, and that's all right. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We tend to think about it either in terms of structural change, so organisation design in its kind of most basic sense, or we see it as a kind of change management program. I think, to me, organisational development is, as I was saying earlier, how do you create the conditions where people can perform at their best? And if you give it that broader perspective, I think it should be way up the agenda. In fact, I think it's the thing that every chief exec should be asking themselves every morning. Am I creating the conditions where my people can do their best work? If they're not thinking about that, then they're really not getting what the people agenda is today. Are we an organisation that can attract the talent we need? So really thinking about their employment brand, really thinking about the experience that they are offering, and recognising that is this something that is compelling, attractive? Are we paying the right money? Are we kind of designed our organisation in the right way? Have we got the right types of jobs? Are we marketing ourselves effectively? But the second question, to reiterate, is are we creating the conditions where people can be agile, productive, collaborative and innovative? And some of that's about getting stuff out the way. It doesn't necessarily mean doing new stuff. It's about clearing the paths for people, getting rid of some of the frustrating compliance and the bulky processes. So I think if you're asking yourselves those two questions, then it leads you to the right kind of answers. As a chief exec and as a leader in large organisations, albeit in HR roles, it's this perpetual tension between the now and the future, and making sure that you can pay the bills and pay your staff, and that you're servicing your clients effectively, and that you're staying on top of the today. But you're also thinking about reinvention. You're also looking up and out. You're also looking at what are other organisations, not necessarily in my area, but what are they doing? What's the latest thinking? And so this balance between operational efficiency and effectiveness and client and customer satisfaction today with reinvention and just a relentless curiosity. And that's just really tough, but also exciting. As HR professionals, we need to just try stuff, just try something new, try something different, and be prepared that it might go a bit wrong, but it doesn't matter. We kind of always think we somehow have to have it all perfect before we do it. It's got to have all of the processes in place, and it's got to have frequently asked questions prepared, and actually just try something, even if it's a bit messy, even if it's only in a small area, but do something.